Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about the dark secrets about Lester Crest that you might not know about, as well as the reasons for why he's so creepy, why he's in a wheelchair, and just some hidden details that you might not have known about his background and his life. So my good friend Zach Cox did this video, I think over a year ago, and recently I've just been getting a lot of tweets and a lot of messages about Lester. Maybe you guys are going back and playing the campaign, after the game's been out for 2 or 3 years. It is kind of cool to go back and replay the missions, and I've been getting a lot of Lester questions lately. So I wanted to talk about some of his darkest secrets that you might not have known about his history, and like I said, some details about his past that you might not have known. Okay, so I'm going to guess that 99.99% of you guys clearly know who Lester is, and you know that for a good portion of the game, he's in a wheelchair, but it isn't really explained throughout the course of the campaign why he uses a cane to walk and why he's in a wheelchair. Well, it actually turns out that Lester suffers from a wasting disease, which has actually gradually worn down his motor skills during his life and has left him wheelchair bound. Though he is, like you guys can see in cutscenes, able to walk short distances with the use of a cane. So he isn't permanently paralyzed, obviously, but he doesn't have the ability to walk around like, let's say, you or pretty much a lot of people have the ability to do. So that also explains the reason why he's not permanently in a wheelchair and why he also permanently doesn't walk with a cane. He kind of uses both in kind of like a 50-50 hybrid. So during the Merryweather heist, Michael actually explains to Trevor who Lester is, and I think we get a little bit of background on his wasting disease and ultimately what that has done to him. Basically, Michael states that it's caused him to grow overweight and that he suffers from asthma, and he even mentioned that he was bullied in high school on his bleeder, which is Rockstar's version of Twitter. Now, something else you might not have known about is Lester knew that Michael faked his death. You guys know that Lester is really good with computers, obviously hacking into things, and he eventually discovered that Michael had indeed faked his death and gone into witness protection with the FIB in Los Santos. However, since Michael, as kind of crooked as he is, was honest enough to not turn in his friend Lester, Lester in return did not notify anyone about Michael's ruse and how he faked his death. So luckily for Michael, he didn't turn in his friend Lester, and Lester turned out to be the guy who actually found out that his death was fake. So I guess that was kind of karma for Michael. Of all the bad things he's done, not turning in Lester ended up saving his life, which is pretty interesting. Now let's talk about some of the creepier aspects of Lester and why he might be so creepy. So Lester, by his own admission, is socially awkward and reveals to the Grand Theft Auto Online character during the Fleeca job that he's not the best conversationalist and rarely meets people. He goes on to state when he meets people online and arranges to meet them in real life, he will show up but unseen by his dates, and Lester instead will watch them from afar. So to break that down for you guys, Lester is basically setting up online dates with other women, and he'll tell them to go to a restaurant, and he'll just watch them instead of going to the date, which is super creepy. Now this is even further backed up on Lester's Life Invader page, where a message from a girl asking about his true age can actually be seen. Now this implies that he fakes his age in order to talk to younger women. Okay, so that is super creepy, and we obviously know Trevor calls him Lester the Molester in campaign, which is pretty funny. And Lester goes on to admit to Franklin even later on in the game that he hacks girls' webcams to watch them after the Bureau raid. So that was when he released that to Franklin. And he says he will reverse engineer a webcam and spy on sorority girls. So this is super creepy. The more you know about Lester, the creepier and scarier he is. And what's even more interesting is it's possible that Lester may even be bisexual. There's a photo entitled Gay Porn that can be found on his computer. However, this might be a way to troll people. Lester obviously believes that like the Illuminati is watching over him. He's got an Illuminati poster in his house. However, these are some of the images of the purchases that he's actually made on his computer. Now, I touched on this in about a video almost a year ago, but it's still pretty interesting to obviously see some of the content that's on his computer. And you can clearly see right now we're on his Maze Bank account, which would be like anyone's like credit card. And the name he's created is Mr. D Waterblow. And you can see these are some of the transactions that he's purchased. One is like 2 girls, 1 duck. Another one is the best of bum fun. You can clearly see some of the purchases, and he's making these pretty consistently. I mean, some of the ones are like made 2 or 3 times a day, which is pretty crazy. This guy is spending a ton of money on, I guess, this adult content. So you can kind of see that's some of the things that Lester is into. Now, why is Lester so creepy? A lot of people are interested in this. And the GTA Wiki says because of his intense interest in subject, it's possible that he suffers from Asperger's, which is a slight form of autism. So that could explain why Lester is ultimately so creepy and why he has all these weird conversations with people and obviously does all these interesting things. Now, also according to the GTA Wiki, there's some interesting trivia regarding Trevor. So as reported by media outlets, Lester may have been heavily based on Karl Rove, who was the senior advisor and White House deputy chief of staff during the George W. Bush administration. And interestingly enough, they do look kind of similar. Now, I don't know if that's a coincidence or if they were trying to go for a look like Karl Rove, but that's pretty interesting. Now, another fact is Lester's email is T3-4B-4G99 at ifind.com. And you might not know what that means, but it actually is teabag99. And I'm sure you guys know what teabagging is. So obviously that's very interesting for Lester's email. And really last but not least, this one's just kind of a random one. Lester's favorite radio station appears to be Space 103.2 as he switches the radio in Michael's car to this station when he's waiting for Michael to return in the cleaning out the bureau heist prep mission. So really, that's the background information on Lester Crest. That's why he's in a wheelchair. That's why he's ultimately so creepy and some of the darkest secrets that he has about him. I thought this was pretty cool. And if you want me to cover some more interesting characters in Grand Theft Auto 5, maybe talk about some of those secrets, be sure to leave them in the comment section down below. Let me know what some of the most interesting characters in the game that you might want me to look at even more. Maybe someone associated with Trevor, like Wade or Ron, someone like that. So let me know in the comment section. If you did go on to enjoy the video, a like rating would of course be awesome. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. With out of the way, guys, like I said, thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.